Hi everyone, today is Thursday, it's April 23rd, and today I'll be reading chapter 5 of Glory Be, but that will actually be my read aloud at the end. I'll be doing a short mini lesson on main idea, but I'll be working with an article about pandas. So let's get started. Today's objective. Students will be able to identify the main idea of a text by finding key supporting details. And today your DOL is iReady, main idea and details. There are about 4 or 5 of you in the class who are not able to go on iReady, so I posted an alternate assignment for those students only. So this should look very familiar to you because this is our exact main idea anchor chart from our classroom. I was able to take a picture of it before we left. So main idea. The main idea is what the passage is mostly about, and you find details in the text to help support that main idea. So that's an example below of a tree map, and the main idea of the article we read was that spiders are interesting, but then we need to prove that with key supporting details. So my detail 1 is they have 8 legs. That's super interesting. Humans only have 2 legs, so I thought that was interesting about spiders. Detail 2, they spin webs. That's also an interesting fact because we can't spin webs. And detail 3, they lay eggs. So those are 3 details that supported my main idea that spiders are interesting. And now I'm going to read a very short passage about pandas. And I'll be thinking, what is this passage mostly about? Panda power. Scientists put on their detective hats in search of giant pandas. World Almanac for Kids, giant panda. Scientists were on the case. They collected clues. The scientists saw paw prints in the mud and fur on the bark of trees. What were they doing? Counting giant pandas. After 4 years, the detective work is done. During that time, scientists figured out how many pandas live in China. All wild giant pandas live in that country. Pandas are very hard to see in the wild, scientist Colby Laux told Weekly Reader. They hide in the thick bamboo forests. That is why scientists use clues to do the count. The result of the panda count was a surprise to scientists. They learned that hundreds more pandas exist than experts once thought. We found pandas living in areas we didn't know had any, said Laux. The main threat to pandas is habitat loss. A habitat is a place in nature where an animal lives. Panda habitat is lost when people cut down parts of the forest for wood and farming. Currently, China has more than 40 giant panda nature centers. People are not allowed to cut down trees there. Scientists want to create more nature centers to give pandas a better chance for survival. So now that I'm done reading the article, I am now reflecting on what I read, and I'm asking myself the question, what was this story mostly about? And what details from the story support my main idea? So this is my tree map, my online digital tree map, and my main idea is pandas' life in the wild. So that's what the passage was mostly about, pandas' life in the wild. And now I need 3 details to support that. So detail 1, all wild giant pandas live in China. That was found in paragraph 1. Notice I said that, so I can go back and see in paragraph 1, that's what it says. Detail 2, panda habitat is lost when people cut down parts of the forest for wood and farming. That was found in paragraph 4, and I noted that. Detail 3, pandas hide in thick bamboo forests, and that's in paragraph 2. All 3 of those key supporting details support my main idea, pandas' life in the wild. Now that you know what the main idea is and how to find the main idea, you are going to complete the iReady main idea assignment. For those of you who cannot access iReady, you already know who you are. You have an alternate assignment. Now I'm going to end our ELA lesson by reading out loud Chapter 5 of Glory Be, which is our new novel. Chapter 5. Jesslyn Pitches a Fit. That night after supper, our daddy, Brother Joe Hemphill, head preacher of the First Fellowship United Church, took his second dish of cherry cobbler to the front porch to practice his sermons for preaching on Wednesday night and next Sunday morning. Emma was nowhere to be seen, and it looked to me like Jesslyn was up to no good. "Why'd you do those dishes all by yourself?" I couldn't hardly believe my eyes. She hadn't even asked me to help with drawing. "Where's Emma?" Emma went home early. Jesslyn wiped her hands on the dish towel, slipped the pearl ring that used to be our mama's back on her finger, and then turned around and gave me one of her looks. "What for?" I asked. "Emma never goes home early." "Something about company at our house." Jesslyn smiled at me like the world was one big happy family. I wanted to help out. If Emma had been standing in our kitchen right then, she would have been telling me, "Gloriana June Hemphill, you are too nosy for your own good." Even though Emma might call it snooping, I didn't believe Jesslyn would be washing and drying those dishes for the pure niceness of it. I had to be nosy. Jesslyn pranced upstairs to our room. I followed her. While she primped in front of the mirror, I reached under my bed for my secret shoebox of treasures. Shells from the times we visited our grandma in Florida, 2 Jesus bookmarks I'd won at the vacation Bible school, my Cracker Jack whistle, a bag of collected bottle caps, 10 copper pennies, wax lips, my new Rock City postcard. I'd saved it all to bet with. "Want to play junk poker?" I asked. With the way Jesslyn glared, I might have well asked her to play patty cake. "I've got better things to do," she said. "Besides, I dumped my shoebox out." "What'd you do that for? You made up junk poker when we were little, before I could hardly count to 21 and beat you. Now that I'm getting good and winning all your junk away from you, you don't want to play with me?" Jesslyn smiled into her mirror, dug through the mess of lipsticks and bobby pins on her dresser, and pretended I wasn't in the room. "Why are you getting so dressed up?" "Mind your own business, Glory." She flipped up the curl of her hair and painted on Persian melon lipstick. I untied the purple bow on my Buster Brown shoebox and lined up my junk poker treasures on the bumpy Channel bedspread. Jesslyn smeared Vaseline on her eyebrows, a trick she'd learned from her stuck-up pep squad friends. Says when they march up and down the football field, shiny eyebrows give them a movie star look. I blew on my Cracker Jack whistle. "Where are you going?" I asked her. "If you must know," she said, dabbing Evening in Paris perfume behind her ears. "To the library with Mary Louise to plan her birthday party." "Sure, getting fixed up for the library." I held a shell up to my ear, pretending to listen to the ocean, biting my lip, thinking about how Jesslyn didn't care one bit about my birthday. Our daddy knocked real quiet on our bedroom door. I stuffed my treasures in my shoebox quick. "Everything okay, girls?" he asked. He never was one for much talk unless he was in front of pews full of people waiting for the good word. "Daddy, now that I'm going to high school, I'm too old to be sharing a room with Glory." Jesslyn gave him her "I can never do a thing wrong" look. "She's bothersome and messy. I want Mama's old sewing room." Last summer, when the ceiling fan stirred up the heat, Jesslyn and me had pushed our beds close together. During the night, we kicked off our sheets and flipped our pillows to the cool side. Finally, we gave up on sleep, pulled out our secret shoe boxes, and played cards. Now here she was tossing out all her junk for our game and wanting to move to the sewing room. "I'm not messy." I straightened the perfect spines of my Nancy Drew books standing like soldiers on my shelf. "Look at Jesslyn's stuff." Mascara wands and hairbrushes, perfume bottles, and powder boxes were piled on a stack of dog-eared movie magazines. Jesslyn gave me the eye again. "I have private things." The way she said private made me want to yank open her dresser drawer and steal her diary. "Besides, Emma, using the sewing machine in there's just that little bed with my quilt on it. You can't have my quilt." "Now, girls, don't start fussing." Daddy raised a hand to hush us. "Let me think on this," he said, heading back to the sermon. "I'm fixing to walk over to the library," Jesslyn told him, smiling, but our daddy was halfway down the steps already. "I'm going with you." I pushed my junk poker box under the bed. "You are not. Stop sticking your nosy self into my business." Jesslyn smoothed the wrinkles out of her skirt for the third time. "How come we never do stuff together anymore? Last summer, you bought me a diary for my birthday present and taught me how to jump double dutch. Now you pitch a fit if I walk to the library with you. Mary Louise and I don't need you hanging around while we're planning her party." Jesslyn smiled in the mirror one last time and did a little dance down the stairs. Mary Louise, my Fanny. I peered in that mirror at my dishwater blonde ponytail and tried to imagine myself in Persian melon lipstick, or my hair done up in Jesslyn's big brush rollers. Jesslyn's hair flipped up at the ends. Mine looked like it hadn't seen the right side of the brush all day. I followed Jesslyn down the stairs, but the back door banged shut in my face before I could ask her any more questions. I grabbed a dreamsicle from the kitchen freezer and headed for the porch. "Daddy, I'm going to the library," I called. He looked up from his Bible. "Be careful, it's getting dark out," he said. And maybe you can walk home with your sister?" Then he picked up his pen and started writing on his sermon again. "Yes, sir," I answered, wondering whether Jesslyn was even at the library. I skipped down the front steps and headed off to find my sister. All right, my friends, that was chapter 5, and tomorrow I'll be reading chapter 6. I hope you enjoyed Glory Be so far, and I hope you have a great Thursday.